Wagwan everyone, I hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video up on this channel. Just making sure that you guys can hear me. I've decided to go on another live stream. This is my second live stream on this channel. And you know what? The main reason why I've decided to go, because it helps a lot with time management. I'm able to get these videos out in the length that I want them to and the times that I want them to, so they make sure that they stay relevant. Also, it's easier for me to, interact with you guys if you do decide to jump on these live streams. I know not many of you so far will be watching these live. There'll be a few of you, whether you dip in or you dip out. I don't mind. As the channel grows, I want to start to make this a bit more of a regular thing so that I'm able to interact with you guys, talk, and we can discuss during the live streams on this StreamYard, which I'm using the platform. Hello, cuz. I get to do things like this, and this is perfect timing. Just get to bring up your comment and share. Hi, Aaron. I hope you're doing well. But yeah, I hope you're having a great Monday, people. So start to the week, so sometimes it gets a bit hard, after the weekend. The weekend flies by so quickly. But, new week, new beginnings, fresh start. Went to the gym today. So yeah, it's a good way to start off your week. Went to work, went to the gym, here creating a video talking about the weekend. And I'm wearing this Arsenal shirt. Forget about the weekend, new beginnings, new chapter. Let's hope for a better week for Arsenal. But so far, I've had a decent one. Also, forgot to mention, if you haven't joined the FPL League already on the Fantasy Premier League app, do join. The code will be in the description below. I forgot to put it in this video, but I'll add it in I'd add it in once this video is posted. So make sure you do jump in, people, because, it gets quite competitive in there. I'm not sure where I am in this league so far. I think I might be first. Again, I don't know. I could probably have a quick look whilst I'm on this app here, but, we'll get going. Big talk of your FPL prowess. Looking forward to the battle. It's going to be interesting. I am quite good at FPL, to be honest. I know I'm blowing my own trumpet quite a lot, but with FPL, I've been decent at it the past few seasons. I've started to understand the game a bit more. It's not necessarily picking the best players, but it's picking players that will score points. So, because the best players are quite expensive and you can find them little cheap gems. So far for me, who's performed that's cheap? Not really. I had Emmanuel Dennis on my bench. That's a bit of a nightmare. But I think we'll get into this video now. Just looking at my notes. I've got my notes here to the side, and here's my predictions from the weekend that I made in the preview. So yeah, if you see me glancing over here in this direction, I'm just having a look at my notes from last week. But also, if you do enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment as well once this is posted, whether you're in the live stream or not, and share this video as well, please. If you do think that it's interesting and you know people that would also be interested in these types of videos, please share it, because it's a small community so far. We've got 91 subscribers. So I'm going to be honest here, I'm going to be open up. My target was to hit 100 subscribers before the end of the year. I'm already on 91. I'm 9 subscribers away, and I've been doing this now for over a week. Wow, I'm happy with the beginning it has had so far. Already getting close to my targets, way ahead of schedule. So if I can really push this channel, leaving a like, every click, every view means a lot. So thank you so much for the people that have supported already. Thank you, Aaron, for being here. And yeah, let's get into the video. So time to share the screen. Let's make sure I do this properly. We'll start off with the Friday night game, Arsenal versus Brentford. Yes, 2-0 to Brentford. The Bees stung the Arsenal, as you saw in the title. Before I go into the game a little bit more, and I'm an Arsenal fan, and probably expecting me wearing this Arsenal shirt to really go in on Arsenal. I will at some point in this video, but first I do need to give my due credit to Brentford, who I thought were fantastic in this game. For me, they were my favourite team to get promoted out of the 3 teams, and I actually wanted them to get promoted earlier. With the BMW, I'm sure some of you have heard that it was their front 3: Benrahma, Mbeumo, and Watkins. Absolute joke of a front 3 that was. I actually think their team that season was better than the one that they've got now, but they're back. They're in the Premier League. They're not back in the Premier League. They're in the Premier League for the first time in their club's history. 74 years since they came back in the first division. And what a way to announce yourself back into the Premier League. David Raya, brilliant when called upon. Didn't really have to do much, but when he did, he was fantastic. I thought he was good at claiming crosses as well. His kicking was fantastic. The way he kept picking out the likes of Ivan Toney. The three at the back, Christopher Ager, who come from Celtic. Another one who was linked with Arsenal in the past. Debut to remember. I remember he came off with an injury towards the end, but he was still fantastic. No trouble for them. Ethan Pinnock, Jamaica international, proud. Yeah, another one who's come from the non-league. Brilliant pick out by them. Came from the non-league group, was at Barnsley, and then they managed to pick him up. Pontus Jansson, who was from Leeds as well, captain the side. He had a brilliant performance. The midfield, the three in midfield, to be honest, completely dominated Arsenal. Literally, it was difficult to break them down. And when we did break them down, they did have the three at the back there with Frank Onyeka, who had a good game, I believe. Yeah, I believe he did have a good game. Christian Norgard, who obviously scored, and Vitani Yenalt, who was a bit more of a destroyer. He had a lot of energy, brought a lot of energy into that midfield for Brentford. And the wing backs, Sergi Canos, who scored the opening goal, Rico Henry, from Walsall as well. I remember when he was at Walsall. So another good signing for them. Struggled with a big injury last season, so this was big for Rico Henry to come into the Premier League and have such a performance. But the front two, they were the stars of the show. Ivan Toney and Brian Mbeumo had the Arsenal defence in bits. It was quite embarrassing as an Arsenal fan to watch what they did to us. Ivan Toney pinned every single time onto Ben White, put himself on there, bullied him, really showed him and showed all the Premier League and the world, because it was the Premier League curtain raiser, so all the world would be watching that, the best league in the world. Really showed him what this Premier League is about. Adapted, came straight into it, caused problems all night. Brian Mbeumo, a little bit of a tongue twister there, caused big issues for Mari as well. Both of these two isolated the Arsenal centre-backs quite a lot. As you can see here, Arsenal centre-backs, literally, they played with the two up front. They missed the midfield a lot. Arsenal centre-backs were isolated. The full-backs were pressing quite high for Arsenal as well, which allowed them to be isolated. And Mbeumo stuck himself on Mari, winning the flick-ons from Ivan Toney. Had to pace him behind to burn. Caused too many problems with the Arsenal defence, those two. The stars of the night. Ivan Toney got man of the match, but you could easily put Mbeumo for me with the way he was causing problems. He did that nice bit of skill to get past Ben White. So, yeah, big praises for Brentford. Even their substitutes, that Sorensen, he came on and put that ball in with the throw-in. And then Marcus Forss and Mads Bistrup, they just came on and just did a job. But for Arsenal, for me, it was an awful, awful way to begin the season, which if you're an Arsenal fan, you've seen plenty of occasions. It's not the first time we've suffered defeat at the start of the season. Aaron, you're still here. I know you've committed so many Arsenal fans into meltdowns and, with Aston Villa always beating us. I'll never forget that Christian Benteke moment when he came and dominated at the Emirates, unfortunately. But for me, just a quick run through Bernd Leno. I'm sick and tired of Bernd Leno now. And what I'm sick and tired of is mainly his distribution, how slow he is to get the ball out. Shearer, I can see your comment here. I'm going to come over to you. I can't get my cursor down. There you are. Yes, your team got done out. It was a hiding. We caused literally no problems at all for Brentford, and they always look the most dangerous. I did think in the first 20 minutes that we weren't the better team, but we did look promising in possession. We looked like we tried to break through, but as soon as they scored, it was easy. It was cruise control. Bernd Leno, but back to Bernd Leno. His distribution causes Arsenal so many problems with how slow he is. His kicking's not the best. I mean, it's not easy for Bernd Leno in a way to be kicking far because Balogun was up top, who's not ready for the Premier League, by the way. We don't really have a physical presence like an Ivan Toney. But is just how slow he is and how long it takes for him to play the ball out. I think it causes problems for our defenders. When you see Mari on the ball, he was complaining quite a lot with how he was playing it to him and how long it was, and allowing the Brentford press to come and cause Arsenal problems. Ben White, he had a shocking first half, in my opinion. He was disgustingly bad. Throughout the game, he lost all aerial duels. When Ivan Toney came, he could not deal with it at all, and which is Ben White's problem. I was having a conversation with one during the game with a Man United fan. He was roasting me, and he's not a big fan of Ben White at all. And he can understand why. I mean, in terms of Ben White, he doesn't think he can play at the 4 at the back. He got found out at Brighton in the Premier League when he was playing at the 3 at the back, but then they had to move into centre defensive midfield. His aerial duels, he's only won 49% of his aerial duels, which was his problem. Yes, 50 million. Oh. I mean, I'm not going to be too harsh on Ben White, because as an Arsenal fan, I'm just going to look at it and say it's 50 million. Yes, awful debut. And I do think that he's young, and defenders for me, centre-backs don't peak until they hit 27, 28. It's defenders. It's a lot about understanding the game and how you position yourself. And Ben White needs to learn that quite a lot, because he's not very quick. He's not strong. He's definitely not tall enough to be winning balls against the likes of Ivan Toney, who's actually taller, who's actually smaller than him, but you would never believe that with the way the game went on. But yeah, I'm not going to delve too much in on Arsenal, but let me see what Shearer said as well. Fair play to Brentford, though. Can't take it away from them, but Ben White is not looking like worth more than 5 mil. Yeah, in that game, you are right. You are spot on. He doesn't even look 5 mil at all. Yeah, in that game, if he was a 28-year-old and we paid 5 mil, I'd still be disappointed. Like El Nene could put in that. Aaron also says standard Arsenal behaviour. It was really, especially when you saw the second goal come from a throw-in directly into the box. Ben White also allowed the ball to bounce and go over him, and then that's where Norgard went and headed it in. Shocking again from Arsenal. I do think also built like what? Built like what? White? I don't know, but yeah. You need to give White a chance. You are right. I do need to give White. And this is where I wanted to come into it. Like, he's very young at the end of the day. He's coming into a toxic club like Arsenal with the fan base that he does have. Poor performance. I do think he will struggle this season, Ben White, but it doesn't mean that he's a bad player. He does have his pros to his game. He's very comfortable on the ball. He's good in the tackle. He can come out with the ball. He likes to play the ball forward. He's got a good range of passing to him, which it does suit the Arsenal game. But in my opinion, he's a bit too much of an Arsenal centre-back. It's gonna be interesting to see how he plays with Gabriel when Gabriel comes back, because Mari doesn't suit him. The lack of athleticism from both of them, it just causes too many problems, especially with the system that Arteta likes to play. Yeah, also because I've spent a bit too long on Arsenal, this isn't an Arsenal video. I thought Sambi Lokonga had a decent game. There was a few players that I thought played well. Kieran Tierney looked a threat. Emile Smith-Rowe was our best player by a mile. Can see why Aston Villa wanted him, but looks like, yeah, he didn't stay. I mean, he stayed and signed a contract. I mean, come on, Arsenal over Villa all day long. Nicolas Pepe didn't have the greatest of game. Sambi Lokonga, I thought he looked decent, made a few mistakes, but for the 21-year-old and his Premier League debut, he was decent. Granit Xhaka, gets so much abuse, but I thought he was good as well. He's been pretty consistent in the recent months, carrying his form over from the end of last season. He does make the odd mistake, and he's a ticking time bomb in terms of that. Gabriel Martinelli I don't think it's hard really, because he didn't get in the game at all. I think that's the problem with the left wing position, and Balogun needs a loan for me, needs to get on loan. But I'll move on to the next game quickly, and that was Manchester United 5, Leeds 1. Battered. Leeds United got battered once again at Old Trafford. It was 6-2, actually, and I predicted in this game a Leeds United win. I couldn't be more wrong. Man United gave them absolutely no chance. They started off on fire as well. I thought Leeds actually started off pretty decent. when I watched it, because this was the 12:30 kickoff, so I was able to watch the full game. I thought Leeds started off pretty decent. They did look dangerous. They were getting some dangerous positions, but I just feel like they didn't make the right decisions in the final third. I thought Rafinha looked their biggest threat. Didn't make the right decisions. In terms of Rafinha, I think he had a poor game. With that miss at the end, it kind of typified for the quality of Rafinha that we've seen in the Premier League, he wasn't on it in that game. He seemed to constantly make the wrong decision in attack. There was a few nice little bit of link-up play with Rodrigo. As you know, with Leeds, they really do squeeze the best out of their players technically. But the way that they're set up, absolute joke. As Saeed says, humiliation. It was the way they're so open, and the way they set up themselves at Old Trafford on the front foot, but on the front foot in a defensive aspect, with the likes of Pogba playing from deep, Bruno running in behind, Dan James, Mason Greenwood. Yeah, it was an awful performance in terms of defensively speaking. They do really lack the quality, though, Leeds do. Pascal Struijk. So if I just run through this Leeds team quickly, I pick out some names. Pascal Struijk, not good enough for the league for me. Roasted by Greenwood. Robin Koch in midfield. He's not a midfielder. I think he's decent at the back as well. He's one of my ones to watch actually for this season. They were missing a few players, as you can see. Calvin Phillips on the bench, Junior Firpo, who they signed as their left back in the summer. Yeah, they were missing some key players. So Man United, and let's just go and praise Manchester United here, because we know there are some Man United fans in here. Oh, before I carry on, it says needed a Calvin figure in the middle. In my opinion, United just had free reign in midfield. Exactly that. It was easy for Man United to break that midfield press, which Calvin Phillips, which he's what he's best at, and what we've seen for England is how aggressive he is with the tackle. He makes the tackle, and if he gets beat, he makes sure the man doesn't beat him. Like, the ball can go past him, but he'll take him out. I remember a bit like what you were like that when we was playing football together. But yeah, back to this game. Give Man United some credit and praise. I got them both mixed up. Maguire, I thought, had a good game. He did sniff out any Leeds attacks. Paul Pogba, 4 assists. Bruno Fernandez, 3 goals. Pogba, that is what we need to see from Pogba. If you're a United fan, I'm happy with how Ollie you kind of used him so far. But this is why it's so essential for United to buy a CDM, a central defensive midfielder, someone with the likes of Bissouma, with that type of ability, who's just going to break up the play, they don't need to have both Fred and McTominay, because when Rashford comes back, he's going to come on the left wing. And where does that put Pogba? I don't think Pogba's, I know he's got the number 6, but his concentration defensively isn't good enough to be playing as a 6. To be playing with Fred and McTominay, he's not good enough defensively, because even with Leeds, I thought Leeds did get past McTominay and Fred quite easily in creating those chances. Yeah, McTominay was better than Fred, in my opinion, in this game. He did win the ball a few times, a few more than Fred. But as I said, they really do lack. And when Pogba plays in that middle and in that deeper position, it really just kind of restricts his game. When you do give him that freedom, as we saw with Pogba, who's playing on the left, but you'd normally find him here in this part of the pitch and further forward about here, playing those balls in to Bruno Fernandez. Bruno Fernandez is not an attacking midfielder, by the way. How many times was he making runs beyond Mason Greenwood? He is a second striker. His finishing is phenomenal, though. His left-footed strike, his first goal, yeah, it was the power that beat Meslier there. But then the other 2 finishes where he cut inside and put it in the bottom cut, and went over the line from Luke Ayling. It was fantastic. And then the right foot finish, woof, absolute joke. Bruno Fernandez, massive player for Man United, but everybody knows his quality, the quality he possesses. Him linking up with Pogba, problems this season. And Dan James as well, I did think he caused them problems. His final decision making has a lot to be desired, though. He gets in such good positions, and his pace allows him to get in those nice areas for United. But he always seems to lack in terms of that, making that final pass. His shot isn't good enough, and his finishing's poor. Let me just go. Took a few took a few lessons off CR7 in the Portugal camp. Definitely seems like it. Yeah, in terms of how he's running in behind, commanding the ball, and just causing Leeds problems. We like every moment, every time United had the ball, they looked dangerous. But here he is. I just want to highlight this man, Mason Greenwood. I thought he was fantastic. I know he's not going to get the plaudits with the likes when Bruno scores a hat trick, Pogba gets 4 assists. He's never going to get that. But yeah, Mason Greenwood, I think, is technically the most gifted striker England have. Left foot, right foot. He can dribble. You see the little nutmeg he did on Strauch as well to playing Pogba when Pogba should have scored, when he just put it wide with his left foot. Wow. It's going to be... Mason Greenwood is going to be a star. I think he's at the age, he's what, 19? Let's go click on his profile and quickly find out. Age 19, he's better than Harry Kane. He'll score more goals than Harry Kane. I've said it now. You've heard it here first. Mason Greenwood, more goals than Harry Kane in his career. What was Kane doing at the age of 19? What was he like? He was getting splinters on the bench for Norwich. He couldn't even smell the grass. He was that far away from it. Wearing big 37 on the back, kept coming on, looking like a big lump. He couldn't even do that for Norwich in the Championship. So, nah, no way. Like, if Greenwood, the phenomenal talent. Let me see what you just said here. Think James will learn a lot from Sancho. Yes and no. I do think in terms of the final product in training, he definitely can learn a lot from Sancho, because Sancho, for me, for a 20-year-old, he consistently makes the right decision in his pass with his movement. And when he gets in those dangerous positions, you are right. He definitely can learn a lot. It's just whether Daniel James has the ability to take that in and learn. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can have the best teacher in the world at school, but if the kids just don't have the ability to comprehend or take it in, it's not going to happen. You can be the best manager in the world, but if you just don't have the players that are good enough. Greenwood, one to watch. I'm glad you agree with me as well. Phenomenal. Yes, absolutely outstanding performance from Mason Greenwood. And so let me get into the next game. And I won't be spending too long on this because there's not going to be many to, well, who knows? Burnley or Brighton fans, come in and let me know what you think in this game. Did anyone see this goal for James Tarkowski, the one that took the lead? Definitely a foul, in my opinion. I saw him come out in the interview and say that, he was blocking me off. So what I'm not just going to let him stand there. But you can't, blocking off in corners happens all the time. How are you supposed to defend without blocking off a run or even trying to make the run difficult? If you're going to just defend by having your eyes on the ball from a corner, believe me, there'll be way more goals scored from corners than we actually see in the Premier League. If that's not a foul, I don't know what is. I think they are being a bit too lenient with VAR just as a whole from this weekend. Just to go back to the Arsenal game for a second, I do think that Janssen fouled Leno for the goal. Still, I'm not gonna go and complain and say, I'm gonna use that as an excuse because we'd be fairly beaten. But yeah, if you pin yourself on the goalkeeper like that, how is that not a foul? And if you completely dash Neil Maupay out of the way, yeah. But then Robert Sanchez did flop at another cross, which he got very lucky with. But the substitutes made the impact for Brighton in this game. Jacob Mulder came on. Brilliant ball from Basuma. Picked the ball up in this area. I might use some screenshots in the future just so that I can use it as a reference. Let me know what you think if I should use that. Basuma, who's been linked with the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, and probably will be Man United, and who might not stay, played a brilliant ball out to Jacob Mulder on this area of the pitch here. Played it across, Neil Maupay tapped it in. And then another substitute, Alexis McAllister, came on. Alexis McAllister, by the way, I think he's got a Scottish parents as well, even though he's born in Argentina. That's how he's got the name McAllister, by the way. Yeah, another cross came in from Pascal Gross, cut across here. He scored and made it 2-1. Big win. Here we go. Chelsea. One of my title favourites at the moment, given that Harry Kane hasn't gone to Manchester City yet. To quickly go over this as well. Chelsea, it was a breeze for them, really. Marcos Alonso, free kick, beautiful free kick, doing what Marcos Alonso does best, and that's free kicks with his left foot and scoring goals. He's a much better goal scorer than he is a defender, in my opinion. But the wing back position really does suit him, given his defensive lapses and incapabilities as well. Christian Pulisic, who I think flatters to deceive a lot of the time, gets in great positions to cross or shoot, often makes the wrong decision. Just grabbed the goal here. That might kick it off for a good season for him. And he's a dangerous player. He does consistently get chances, similar to Timo Werner. But yeah, if he kicks off and continues how he did in this game, he will just cause more problems. And Trevor Chalobah, this guy's special. He's a joke. Trevor Chalobah is. The fact that he can play, he looks so comfortable on the ball. He can play in midfield. I think he played in midfield against Villarreal and Tuchel's Chelsea. Yeah, it's a problem. They are so well organised. They've conceded the least amount of goals since he's came in, and I think conceded the least amount of shots as well. Yeah, defensively, they've got the perfect balance in that team. They were missing N'Golo Kante, and they were still missing a few players. Obviously, Lukaku couldn't play. Thiago Silva's on the bench. Ben Chilwell, Reece James, Kai Havertz, Tammy Abraham is going to Roma. So, and this isn't even peak Chelsea. They're just starting to warm up into it a little bit this season. Yeah, they've just got the perfect balance. Antonio Rudiger, quality again, came in with a last-ditch tackle. Christensen, Chalobah at the back. Alonso scored. Jorginho, people were calling for Ballon d'Or. Kovacic looked pretty good in that game as well, wearing the number 8, which is a new number for him, which was Ross Barkley's number. Azpilicueta just, gives him a 7 out of 10 performance, as he consistently does. Christian Pulisic grabbed the goal. Timo Werner did Timo things, had an opportunity, but just smacked it wide, and when he should have scored. Mason Mount, lethal in a Chelsea shirt as well. Chelsea, Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea, definitely going to cause a problem. For Vieira, quickly, I don't want to go in too much on Vieira, as you know, an Arsenal legend, but he's got a brand new squad with the likes of Mark Gahey coming in, Philip Mateta as well. Yeah, we've seen some regular names that we've previously seen, but they still haven't had all the players come back. Elise was injured, Eze's yet to come back. So I will give Vieira time. I think, we'll let him off in this game. He's playing against Chelsea at the end of the day, and he's still yet to really form a system with these players. So I think Palace will be patient with Vieira. So, yeah, not really too much to take into that game from a Palace point of view, even though they were easy, and he does need to solidify them defensively. South, and just a quick one on that game. On the previous games, I predicted Brighton to win 2-0. They won 2-1. Crystal Palace. Oh, I got this one perfect. Chelsea Crystal Palace. It was 3-0, and I did say 3-0. So I'll big myself up there. Even though I got the Brentford Arsenal one wrong, said that would be 2-2, lost 2-0. And Leeds Man United, I couldn't be more wrong with that one. But, give me my flowers. Okay? Give me my flowers. Everton 3, Southampton 1. Southampton did take the lead in this game. Adam Armstrong, who scored, it was off of a mistake. Who was it that made the mistake? I can't quite remember. But it was the ball given away, and Adam Armstrong went in and took it and took the chance. Everton fought back, though, for Rafa Benitez's side. With Charlison came. Another mistake I remember who that was by. That was by Salisu. He let the ball drift over his head. Pardon me. Excuse me for that. Sorry. And then Abdoulaye Doucouré smashed it in. If you haven't seen this goal and with how they celebrated it, it was a good goal. I'm not going to tell you to go watch it, actually. It wasn't that good to go back and give it a watch on YouTube or something. But yeah, but here it was again. Richarlison, for that assist, the cross he played in for Calvert-Lewin was a peach. Awful defending as well to let Calvert-Lewin go goal side in the 6-yard box, but beautiful ball. I don't think the Southampton defenders expected that type of cross. So Everton took the win for that one. Even missing key players with COVID, with the likes of James, and there was 4 more of the players, but I'm not sure who they were. But yeah, the biggest name was James Rodriguez. Problems for Southampton defensively. They had the similar problems last season as well. So it will be a difficult season for them, in my opinion. I did think that Valentino Livramento, by the way, another Chelsea right back to come out of their academy, just like Tariq Lamptey, came out and shining for Brighton when he plays, when he's not injured. He looked pretty decent as well, and I heard very good reviews from some Southampton fans on him. So next game, Leicester versus Wolves. If any of you saw, I would recommend you to watch the goal for this. Ricardo Pereira Absolutely makes Marcel and João Moutinho look like idiots. Little nutmeg goes through the both of them, whips the ball in, and then the finish from Jamie Vardy. He's having a party. Absolute joke. The flick just to get in front of Connor Cody, the toe, and just loops it round and over Jose Sarr. Brilliant finish. But Wolves did have their chances and should have won this game. I remember Adama having 2 big chances. Trincao had 1. Max Kilman had 2 towards the end as well. Yeah. Wolves did have their chances. They weren't as bad. They did play the 3 at the back, which is what they played towards the end of pre-season. But yeah, I think fans were expecting a transition, but I don't think he has the players currently to be transitioning the team. It's still the Nuno squad, so he can't really be doing that. I don't think he's got the midfield. I speak to my brother-in-law, and he's not too sure on the midfield in terms of playing that as a 3 at the back. No idea how he got that in. Trust me, tell me. But it's Jamie Vardy. He just does the most ridiculous things. If you remember against Liverpool in the season that they won the league, that goal, that volley he took against Mignolet, I wondered how he got that in as well. He's ridiculous, Jamie Vardy. Is like he looks like he's just a speed merchant when he's playing, but his movement is so clever, and he will come out with a sublime. Like, he missed a chance in that game as well. Like a decent opportunity, which was way easier than the goal he scored. But yeah, Jamie Vardy, he's 34, still pulling it off. So yeah, Leicester, they weren't awesome. They weren't like the Leicester that we expect to see in that game. I expected them to kind of win this one more comfortably, but yeah, they are missing key players, Johnny Evans and Wesley Fofana and Yannick Vestergaard, who came off the bench. Yeah, their defense did look a bit leaky. I do think they need a right winger, though. I'm not a big fan of Jose Perez. He's the energy too from Vardy. Yeah, Red Bull, that's what it is. Red Bull and vodka, that's what he's been drinking. Vodka and Red Bull, all the way around. He actually does drink a can of Red Bull before a game, which is quite mad, given the sports science part of it. They do I know he does other stuff as well before a game, which it's not kids friendly. But yes. Also, the next game, and this one was quite a shock. And Aaron, I noticed, are you still here? You probably won't want to be for this, but Watford went 3-0 up in this game. Ismaila Sarr. If any of you have seen this game or just watched Match of the Day, you'd see how Ismaila Sarr absolutely ruined the Villa defence. Look, if you look here, Matt Targett got taken off in the 45th minute. That's all because what Ismaila Sarr did to him in that game. They ended up having to move Ashley Young to left back. And who did they bring on for him? They brought Jacob Ramsey, who did make a difference to the game. But for me, that was already too little too late. Watford's counter-attack, Villa could not deal with that counter-attack. They looked poor defensively as well. With Villa, though, the midfield did see, similar to how I spoke about Man United, it did seem quite easy to get past the Villa midfield. Marvelous Nakamba, who won't usually start for Villa in that midfield. John McGinn, who I think he scored a fantastic goal. It was a brilliant finish, that one was, from John McGinn. He's a good player, John McGinn, but as I said, if he's got Marvelous Nakamba next to him, it's usually you're going to see Douglas Luiz playing that position a lot more from Villa. So I wouldn't take too much into it from Villa because the comeback was quite good. The fact that he was able to score 2 goals. Leon Bailey came on, assisted for John McGinn, and Bertrand Traore came on and won a penalty towards the end. You will grow into it. It's the start of the season. Let's not take too much from these games. Let's not say that Watford are going to stay up. Or I know I put in the thumbnail that Brentford going to. And yeah, he was a bit clickbaity, I will admit that. But, you got to try and get them clicks at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm not going to take too much into it. I know I've said they've overrated as well. But yeah, we're still going to see the likes of Buendia settle. What's his name? Leon Bailey. How can I forget? Leon Bailey still needs to come and settle into this league. It's quite a difficult league to come into for players, especially coming from the Bundesliga, as we've seen. So, yeah. And then Jacob Ramsey, I think he'll come in and probably start as well. They do need another midfielder, Aston Villa, someone either in that defensive position so that it can allow John McGinn to really be a box-to-box number 8. But yeah, I did think that, but quick praise for Watford as well. Instead of spending too much on Villa, Ismail Assar, already said that. Emmanuel Dennis, he scored, looks a threat. The pace of Ismail Assar and Ken Sema with Emmanuel Dennis was a problem. They will cause problems in this league. Sarr is such a talent. Yeah, he's been linked to Liverpool as well. I know he has been, it's not alongside Jared Bowen. Would you take him at Liverpool? Let me know. Definitely going to get, oh yeah, you said it there, definitely going to get scooped up. Yeah. So excited for Villa's new attack. Yeah, they did have their glimpses. You know, the likes of Traore still coming on, Bailey setting up that goal. Praying they will settle well and tear up defenses. Yeah, I agree. I do want them to settle because I want to see good players in this Premier League. You know, we're going to be watching this Premier League quite a lot. So it's nice to have a few more teams. I did predict them to finish above Arsenal. Yes, Jake, I'm good. Thank you. How about you? Thank you for coming and joining. And thank you, Saeed, as well. Thank you so much for engaging. I'm loving the comments and loving engaging with you guys. So, yes, in that game. So, yeah, they will get sterner tests. Watford will. And let's move on to Liverpool now. We've got 3 games left of this weekend. Mo Salah, man of the match. Quite simple. Liverpool, if they can stay fit, if they can keep their key players fit, they will definitely challenge for the title this season. It's not a foregone conclusion that Chelsea or Man City will win it as long as they keep their players fit. Van Dijk coming back showed glimpses of his quality. He wasn't really tested, in my opinion, but it's kind of a good game for him to come back in, pick up. It will. I do feel it will take a while for him to settle and get back to the level that he was at before. It's not a bad showing. It's good minutes in the legs. He starts to feel more confidence. The more confident you get as a player, as he said in his interview, he's starting to love his knee now, and that's what you have to do. It's that mental block, that mental factor, and that little bit of sharpness coming into the Premier League. As he said, it's so intense and it's so hard as well to keep that intensity up, especially being out for so long. Tsimikas, you look very good, by the way. He's starting to settle now. Robertson's let me get this comment up. Robertson already out and he's feeling cursed already. Yeah, but as I was talking about Tsimikas, I did think he played quite decent and he's starting to settle. That season, the first season, last season, it was like that bedding in period. He's a young player coming from Olympiacos in Greece. He's probably never lived outside of Greece before, so it was quite a big turnaround. And now he's starting to settle. He's proving the talent that he is. I remember seeing him as well, by the way, when Olympiacos did knock out Arsenal. He was their biggest threat. He was one of their best players. And he's starting to look like that Tsimikas as well. Joel Matip as well. If he can stay fit, which I don't think he will, if he does, it'll be a miracle because for me, players don't suddenly just have an injury record that he does. He can't play 3 games in a row. It's just about managing him and probably trying to manage back. Was Joel Gomez on the bench? Yeah, Joel Gomez managing back into it. And then the likes of Ibrahima Konate, who's also injury prone as well. But yeah, the midfield, you're still expecting Henderson, Thiago, and Henderson and Thiago. Naby Keita was decent as well. James Milner, just as James Milner things. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, another player that's important to keep fit. And once again, I'm not sure that his body will. It's just about managing these players and managing the small squad that you do have. But the front 3, looking back, Sadio Mane getting back to his best as well. But he's going to take. I feel like this is where Sadio Mane's coming back. He really struggled last season for Liverpool. He was one of the most underperforming players alongside Firmino, in my opinion. But Mo Salah does what Mo Salah does best, and that's score goals on the opening day once again. Since he's come for Liverpool, I think he scored in every opening day of the season. And Diogo Jota looking like an even better player. He was looking like this good at Liverpool last season anyway. But he's just stepped that level up from when I last saw him at Wolves in terms of his finishing and goals. He just always consistently gets in those positions, wins free kicks. For me, he's a bit of a shout as well. He's better than Jack Grealish, in my opinion. I know he's a different type of player. He doesn't create the sort of numbers that Jack Grealish does, but he has played in that left wing position. He played up front as a centre forward in this game. Still looked dangerous. And that first goal that he scored was pretty lucky from Salah, but that's what you get when you are Mo Salah and you consistently get in those positions. Firmino, good goal as well, played across the box by Salah, and then Salah's goal just does what Salah does best. It wasn't right in the corner, but the keeper was blocked. He couldn't see, so got me 2 assists as well. He's my captain in FPL. Everyone took lessons. You know what? When you got a player like CR7 in your camp, it's hard not to take lessons from him and admire him and try and implement what you can in your game. It just really shows how Portugal did underachieve and how the manager didn't get the best out of those players and that crop of players, or really work a system that was right for them. So yeah, 3-0, easy win. Norwich getting relegated for me. And well, we'll see. As I said, you can't jump in too early on things. Todd Cantwell looked decent as well. Milot Rashica, yeah, he was dangerous again, but didn't really have the end product to show for it. And one of the games of the weekends, by the way, never thought I'd say this about Newcastle, but it finished Newcastle 2, West Ham United 4. Brilliant start for Newcastle with Callum Wilson scoring. If you saw this goal as well, St. Maximin, see you later to Declan Rice. You don't know which way he's going. To be honest, I don't think St. Maximin knows which way he's going either. He's just too quick, too skillful for anyone to really manage. Whips in a brilliant ball. Once again, don't know how he gets goal side, nods it in. Aaron Cresswell scored a goal, which was originally ruled out, but it did cross the line before Jared Bowen tapped it in. Jacob Murphy scored a good goal as well. The ball crossed into the box, headed it in. Side Benrahma makes it 2-2. Mikel Antonio missed the penalty. Thomas Soucek hits the rebound, but Mikel Antonio ended up scoring. If you got him in your fantasy Premier League team, yeah, you were cursing him, but then you was happy in the end. But you still might be cursing him because those 2 points might be essential in the future. That's not true. Look at Wolves. Well, we'll see. I think Wolves did look dangerous in that game. So if you do get that finishing, if Adama does improve his finishing this season, and grab some more goals, and if that's Jimenez in that position, I think he scores at least 1, definitely, maybe 2. So yeah, I do think that you can have a better season than what some people are predicting. I've seen some people predict that Wolves could finish and get relegated. I don't think that's going to happen. You've got too much talent. You've still got the likes of Pedro Neto, Podence, and then you've got Jimenez, who's coming back as well. Fabio Silva, who might up his game if he'll need to. He'll need to up his game from last season, but he's still young. Norwich brought in some good signings, but I can't see them winning many this year. Not really. They've still got the similar defence as well to the team that got relegated with. They do leak too many goals. They do play quite attractive football with the likes of Todd Cantwell, Rashica. I did think that Billy Gilmore looked quite good as well in that game against Liverpool. And he's one to watch, and Chelsea fans will be happy watching him. They don't really care what Norwich do this season, just as long as Billy Gilmore's playing and looking good. So yeah, back to this game here. Interesting game. Not a game for the coaches defensively, but yeah, West Ham looking like the West Ham that we saw last season. They didn't really miss Jesse Lingard in this game. Said Benrahma's got a big season ahead. He's going to have to fill those boots of Jesse Lingard. He played in that sort of 10 position with Pablo Fornals. Those two were kind of like interchanging. You'd find Pablo Fornals on the left, and then in Said Benrahma in the 10, vice versa. So it was quite interesting to watch West Ham and see how they did without Jesse Lingard. But, David Moyes is too good of a manager not to... Yeah, he's too good of a manager not to, get winning these games. Yet Newcastle, if they scored goals, which was decent, but defensively looked a shambles, and they need to sort that out. Otherwise, it will be a problem for them this season, and they could go down. Freddie Woodman looked okay, made a brilliant save. Also, Jared Bowen, did you see that run? Did any of you see that run? It was... Oof. But then Freddie Woodman saved it. Fantastic run. Lingardinho can never be replaced. Will he, mate? Do you think he'll go back to West Ham eventually towards the end of the window? Do you think it'd be one of them signings where he realises, you know what, I'm not really going to get many minutes in this Man United team with the likes of Bruno, Pogba, with Rashford still to come back? I know he's coming back himself from COVID, but then you've still got Donny van der Beek. Yeah. Juan Mata. So I hope so. Yeah, that's what I mean. I just want to see more quality teams in the Premier League. We're football fans, so I do want to see these players play in the Premier League. Give it a tougher league for us to watch and tougher for teams. The new squad, Lingard's never getting it. Yeah, you're right. Spot on. He's no chances of getting enough minutes to show. Even Andreas Pereira still at Man United, remember. So, yeah, he's not as good as Jesse Lingard, in my opinion, but of the similar level type of thing. Ollie's lost faith in him. I just feel like he has too much good of too many good players for him to pick Lingard ahead of anyone, really. Yeah, and once he's lost players, yeah, we saw that with Lukaku as well. That's a good point, to be fair. Once he takes them out of the team, he doesn't really bring them back. United have so many midfielders. Yeah, exactly. We're just listing through it there. Van der Beek, Lingard, Van der Beek, Pereira, and that's not even mentioning Pogba, Fernandez, McTominay, Fred, and if they do sign another midfielder, no chance for him. So yeah, could he play in the wide positions though? Nah, not with Sancho, Greenwood, and there's still Amad Diallo and etc. to come. So, and into the final game, and this will end the video, and this will wrap up on this one. It was the big one. It was the biggest fixture of the weekend. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Man City 0. Man City haven't even scored at the Tottenham's new stadium, let alone won. Some standout performers this weekend. Japhet Tanganga was excellent. Jack Grealish and Raheem Sterling, see you later. Literally pocketed the ball for them. I did think, I'm actually surprised he'd never got a yellow card, actually. Looking there, he did make about 4 or 5 fouls. The referee gave him 2 warnings at one point as well. Yeah, a bit dodgy there. I'm just going to, Spurs. I can't praise him too much. I'm going to just blame it on that. Shocking refereeing. Should have been sent off. But yeah, seriously, Spurs did look brilliant. Lucas Moura, threat all day long, caused so many problems to Man City's defence. Man City started off in the first 15 minutes pretty decent. They looked the most dangerous team. Didn't look like Spurs could get into it. As soon as Spurs had the one opportunity with the fans back in this season, they just built confidence from there. And Man City slowed down the play. I heard Gary Neville talking about it. They just kept playing at walking speed. Benjamin Mendy, terrible defensively, such a liability, allowed the likes of Lucas and Steven Bergwijn just to cause havoc. Now, with Nathan Ake there as well, that left-hand side was awful. Left too much with Diaz to do. That goal, yeah, I think that was a lack of concentration in a way from Diaz. I don't know why he dropped so deep, which distracted Ederson. However, Ederson still got to just dive, at least dive. And then, yeah, you got to think worst case scenario always as a goalkeeper. He thought he was going to block it. Not good enough from either of them, to be fair. Man City, they just look toothless. Seriously do need a centre back, a centre forward, which Harry Kane. Nuno has a dream to build a football team. Yeah, agreed. So aggressive. Yeah, definitely. It reminds me a bit of you as well when we were playing football. I always loved that about you. I always wanted you on my team for that reason. Love me a little bit of Son. Yeah, everyone does. Think he's got hit confidence after the Euros. Yeah, exactly. Definitely. He should do. Still a young lad after all. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see with Manchester City. Jack Grealish, I'll put him in the thumbnail. Just if you don't know, not a big fan of... Well, he's a good player, but I do think he's overrated. For me, Jack Grealish is overrated. 100 million, he's not worth that. I still think he will come good in a Man City shirt because it's hard not to when you've got that many quality players still to come back. Look at their bench. Yeah, just look at this. Let's go from Jesus, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne. Bernardo Silva may not be there. Rodri, Laporte, Zinchenko, John Stones, and Kyle Walker. Yet to still have £150 million Harry Kane in that first 11. Yeah, joke. Absolute. It doesn't even need saying it's a joke. Do Spurs need a replacement ST? I would personally have brought in. I think... For me, I do think that they need a replacement in case Son gets injured. Because if we have a look at their bench, for example, their next best striker is that Dane Scarlett, who we've never seen in the Premier League. So I do think they do need a striker. Probably not a starting. Do you know what? That's a good shout. Do they need a starting striker? I would still get someone that could play with Son if they need to, and where they can shift Son out to the left in the left wing position, and then play with a striker. But in most games, that they could just do the work with that front three and work on the counter attack. And then, yeah, someone who's a bit of a high, like, could focus on playing up front, and then Son could be the second striker or backup striker, or play left wing. So yeah, definitely, yeah. One sec, let me go down. Oh, sorry. There we go. Definitely not £100 million man. Yeah, 60 to say. Yeah. I agree. Spot on. You're spot on there. Sorry, man. Like, I can't even say anything else. You've just hit the nail on the head there in terms of that. Doesn't score enough goals to be £100 million midfield, like creative attacking midfielder. Sorry, let me get this back up. There, oh, sorry. There we go. So back onto it. Yeah, Man City toothless. They will get Harry Kane though. Let me know. Do you guys think Harry Kane will go to Man City? He's been named in the Europa Conference League squad for Spurs. Is that just a bit of mind games though? Is that just Daniel Levy saying, well, we'll keep him, and this is, if you don't pay the money, we'll keep him, and we're happy to, like, we're going to put him in this squad, etc. So, yes, just a quick overview of my key performers for this weekend. Before I go into that, Levy won't let it happen. Yeah, you're right. Unless he gets that money, or if he's happy to take 150, he'll take it. But if he's not happy, he's not going to bend over and take it at all. So, just a quick overview. For Brentford, Arsenal, Ivan Toney ripped us to shreds. Ivan Toney and Mbeumo. Man United, for me, Pogba was man of the match in that game, because if you get 4 assists, come on, give him the man of the match trophy. Bruno takes the ball home. Do you agree with me on that one? Let me know in the comments below. Brighton, don't really see enough. I didn't really see enough of that game. I think probably Graham Potter was the man of the match. I really rate him. If Arsenal did sack Arteta, I'd take him. Don't think Arsenal should sack Arteta. If you want to see a video on that, let me know why I don't think they should sack Arteta, and because they've got so much more problems. And what them problems are. Chelsea, Trevor Chalobah, big. I think he probably wasn't man. Yeah. You know what? Let's give it him. Debut, scores a goal, cracking goal like that. Speaking of cracking goals, Luke Ayling, whoo, crazy. Also, Man United, just quickly going back in that game quickly. That's what I'm talking about, the defensively. You need a centre defensive midfielder. Varane does not stop that goal, because, for one, it's a great strike and De Gea can't save it. 2, it came from a throw-in across the midfield. Where's the CDM to come and break that up and not let that happen? Anyways, Everton 3-1, Richarlison, my player of the season, with no break as well, straight back into it. Leicester, Jamie Vardy for that beautiful finish and just causing problems. Watford, Ismail Assar goes out saying. Liverpool, who did you think that Liverpool's big player was in that game? Because, Jota looked good. For me, it has to be Salah, 2 goals and assist. West Ham, Newcastle, Jared Bowen, Antonio, Simon Rama. It's quite hard to pick a key player in that game. Who did get man of the match? Let's have a quick look. Antonio, yeah, of course. And then easily in this game, for me, it wasn't Son. It was either Lucas or Tanganga for me. I'm going to go with Tanganga. And Oliver Skip also had a class game as well. He had Jack Grealish pocketed. Let me just go into a few comments, guys. I'll just backlog that, sorry. There's no one in world football who Tottenham could bring in to replace Kane. Exactly. You just can't buy a player like that, especially when it comes through your academy. And with the way that Tottenham are and where they are in the league and what the expectations are, wage structure, etc. Yeah, they can't replace him, even with the money. Exactly. Especially, yeah, you've just hit it all there, especially non-UCL positions. I've just copied you, basically. Luke Shaw should have closed it down. Yeah, true. He should have closed that ball down. I'm frustrated if that's my left back. If that was, you know what I mean, back in the day, I'll go mad at that one. I'm not allowing that to happen. But yeah, I'll probably get nutmegged afterwards anyway. But guys, I think that's where it wraps the video. I don't want to make this too long. It's already just under an hour. But thank you so much to all of you who've been in the comments of this video. Thank you for staying as well. Thank you for engaging, people. Let me just sort this out so we can get my big head back on the screen. There I am. If you do like this, if you do enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment what you think, and also subscribe if you haven't already. And the big one that I said at the start, please share word of mouth, even if it's just, to people, friends and family, colleagues. Just say, yo, do you like football, don't you? Yeah, go check out my brethren, someone that I know. Exactly. And push the community so we can get more people. And I do appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for being involved and enjoying this video. I will wrap it up now. I can waffle off a little bit, but just to make sure I don't forget anything, I will put the FPL code, if you haven't joined already, in the description. Let me see if I can put it in this. I'll put it in the comment section as well as I'm speaking. So yes, I'm gonna have to get used to doing that. That's the FPL code. If either of you haven't seen it, I'll just pin it here. So thank you so. Oh, I've just pinned myself on timeout. I need to get used to this. Sorry. Can't ban. There we go. That's the code. If I don't put it in the description, click on it. There. It's right there. And yes, post notifications on as well. I will be doing another live stream on Wednesday. Yes. And then I'll come for the weekend preview back on Friday. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your week until I see you on Wednesday. Peace.